Hello everyone again, part 2 of Tinto Flavour 44, Europa Universalis 5 of course, about Poland, Lithuania and Ruthenia. So we finished here last time, advances for Poland, but I have one question for you. Or actually I would like to ask you for something. If you dislike my videos, please write why. I mean, this is ridiculously helpful. Um, Likes are cool. I mean, they boost your ego. Uh, they make you feel comfortable with what you do. Uh, but in general, making mistakes, that's what teaches the best. So if you dislike my videos, please leave a comment why. Tell me why. That's super helpful because I've noticed that I get some dislikes and I don't know why. So of course I can be more strict for myself, more harsh, but that's not gonna fix the problem. I need to know what's the problem on your side. So please explain me that. And also, if you like videos, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel because, well, views look decent, especially for those Europa Universalis 5 related videos. Um, but the amount of number of subscribers, it's, well, low. Okay, so let's continue with advances for Poland. We have Kasztelanowie. This is what? This is some kind of advance. This is Age of Traditions, which I assume this is tier 1. Proximity cost minus 5%, whatever it means. Let's see what's the explanation for that. Tasked with being the voice of the monarch, castellans are the official representatives across the ruler's domain. They are in charge of gathering taxes and ensuring the rule of law, even executing justice and conformity in the name of the crown. So Castellanowie, or the Castellans, they manage so-called Castellanie, which is basically some part of the land. That's pretty simple. I still don't know what proximity cost means, so yeah, let's move forward. Corona Regni Poloniae. I don't know it. Never heard about it in Poland. So that's another advance. Age of Renaissance, tier 2, diplomatic annexation cost, blah blah blah. Let's read the description only because it doesn't say much to me. The idea that the kingdom is indivisible and commonly owned, not by one dynasty or monarch, but by the entirety of the political community within our domain, is an entrenched idea between us and the various dukes under our banner. Okay, fair enough. So yeah, we have parliament-based support. Oh, I mean, this is pretty simple. And diplomatic annexation cost minus 10%. This is also pretty simple. In relative terms, I have no idea how much it is. Whether it's enough. I mean, whether those are high numbers, high values or not. I don't have any reference for that. So I suppose that 10% it's actually decent. Next, we have Council of Free Lands. Have I ever heard about it? Age of Discovery allows Council of Free Lands. Don't think so. Our country has a long-standing history of accepting destitute and persecuted Jews. To that end, a council that will care for their needs and shield their rights will only benefit our stability and spiritual strength. Yeah. By the way, if you don't know, Poland was actually very much multiculti throughout the history. Now we have mostly Poles, of course, but in the past that was a massive multiculti. Uh, I mean, the, we had a lot of different cultures and the different religions, and still we managed to live together somehow. Okay, the next one is of course Winged Hussars. Fuck yeah. Sorry for that word. But Winged Hussars, yeah. I assume that this is the most well known thing related with Poland that people know about. From different regions of mostly Europe. I doubt they know about Hussars in United States of America or in Asia, whatever. But in Europe, Winged Hussars are pretty well known, especially for those historic geeks. I'm pretty sure. So what is it? This is tier 4, Age of Reformation, requires heavy lancers, whatever it means. This is some type of unit, probably. Allows winged hussars regular regiment, and of course there's a description. The hussars were originally light cavalry troops used for scouting, but with the decline of the old feudal army, we have switched over to professional regiments. The new heavier hussars will form the core of it. People will soon fear Poland's winged hussars. Yeah, I mean, that cavalry was ridiculously effective. Now the question is why? So cavalry is like cavalry, right? You can just equip them with any weapon you want and just send them to fight. But I think what made winged hussars special is that is tactics and morale, very high morale. That's why they've managed to defeat greater in numbers enemies like Sweden or Ottomans. So yeah, that would make them very special. It was mostly about also leadership of winged hussars. In the known cases, winged hussars leaders were quite decent general. Let's call them generals. And here we have that unit. This is 300 men. Some basic statistics, which doesn't say much. I believe this is initiative. 200% seems like quite a bit. Then we have also logistics, of course, terrain. There are some penalties. This is obvious: mountains, wetlands, and jungle. This is not the most comfortable environment for cavalry of any type. Monthly maintenance, as well requirements for construction, and also additional description, which is dressed in characteristic wings and donning illustrious armor. These cavalrymen are a force to be reckoned with when it comes to their powerful charges, dealing immense damage and shattering the enemy's morale. Absolutely. And then we have late winged hussars, which is Age of Absolutism. Requires, of course, hussars. This is quite straightforward, and this is cool that they discern them from each other. That's awesome. I like it. This is the detail, of course, but something I really like. And of course, there is additional description of it. So, the evolution of the Polish hussars into the 17th century entailed the adoption of heavier armor in red and white colors. They used a longer lance of around 6 meters, and their charge was incredibly devastating, often breaking the morale of their foes and causing them to rout. Yeah, that was. I can imagine that was scary as shit. Like even the small number of hussars, the view had to be terrifying for the infantry. Um, yeah, so late winged hussars. I wish that they have special icon for them as well. That would be very nice. And maybe maybe later in the future they will actually change that. That would be cool. Of course, there's always additional work which nobody cares about, but some detail. Also, the regiment size is increased to 600. There are some additional parameters. This is some kind of shock, plus 10%, and some other stuff which we already read. So what we have: dressing characteristic wings and donning illustrious armor. Is cavalrymen. Okay, so this is basically the same. Fair enough, we can continue. We jump to advances of Lithuania. We start with migrant opportunities. Requires land of many religions, so this is the previous technology required by that. I'm very sorry. I have to cough. And what's that? Rural migration attraction, towns and cities migration attraction, mercantile opportunities, and the promise of a better life are some of the reasons as to why our towns and settlements tend to receive several waves of migrants. Many men and women decide to relocate themselves to our lands seeking their fortune, which in turn increases ours. Many men and women? Shouldn't be that E? Women? Women. Not woman, but women. Okay. Not good at that. So that's some type of advance, which seems to be fine. Then we have 2 realms, Age of Renaissance, culture capacity +1. Due to the size of our realm, our jurisdiction falls under 2 distinct frameworks. To the north lies the core of our territories, proudly embracing our cultural traditions and conduct. However, our southern east often includes certain degree of divergence from our central norms. To respect such diversity will only strengthen our geopolitical position. Yeah, that was actually a problem. So, um, of course, from our perspective, it seems to be quite obvious that there is some law in the country, right? And everyone has to respect that law. But what if someone doesn't know about that law? There wasn't, of course, television, internet, phones, or whatever. That's obvious, right? Uh, but you have to somehow reach with that information to the rural places, to the distant places, which is hard. And that was basically the biggest problem of Eastern Europe, especially let's say Russia. That's why they had a really strong army, because they knew that the only way to unify country is to fight, is to find the common enemy. Otherwise, uh, there was a great chance that country will fall apart. So yeah, that was in general. I would say that the roads, the communication network, is um very very important, extremely important, because that provides the flow not only of trade goods but also information, which is even more valuable than those trade goods. So yeah, if you want to keep your country unified, you have to take care of communication networks, basically. I mean, this is somewhat not related, but just a just additional information. Next is Chancery Slavonic. Okay. Age of Renaissance, monthly prestige increased, legislative efficiency. To bridge together the vastness of our realm, there is need for a unified language and the use of many literate members of the clergy to spread it. Of course, clergy, always. The development of such a language to record our history and maintain our administrative apparatus is not only a sign of pride and prestige, but also a means to create a distinct government separating us linguistically and culturally from our eastern neighbors. Okay? That was also the case for Poland, something similar. I'm wondering whether they have similar technology for them or advanced. Next is Supremus Dux Lithuania, which is what is it? If we are to defend ourselves against the aggressors across our Polish and East Slavic foes, we must project strength. The title of Supreme Duke of Lithuania aims at securing our grip to power, especially against the growing power of our nobles and those who seek to violate our sovereignty. And that increases the crown power. Okay? Next is Status of Lithuania. This is the advance, and then there's also a policy. What's that? That unlocks the stages of Lithuania policy. Fair enough. This is Age of Reformation, by the way. Stages of Lithuania are a set of three different legal reforms which gather, unify, and update the laws of the realm. Known for their harsh punishments and the introduction of the death penalty, they are in line with many contemporary Western penal codes. Each crime is supposed to be punished the same regardless of the class of the person committing it, but in practice, many disadvantages for the peasantry will be maintained. Lithuanian statuses? My god, how to pronounce it? Will later inspire a similar reform in Russia. Fair enough. Russia is not a great example, by the way. Uh, statutus? Statutus of Lithuania? I have no idea. I have to check that. And then we have that policy which revoke privilege codes, monthly progress to centralization, monthly progress to free subjects. This takes 730 days to fully implement. Okay. A series of codified laws aimed at painting the legal responsibilities at framework of the elites, as well as promote a wave of centralization. Okay, so that would be it. We don't have any specific information about some troops, some units available for them, or military technologies actually, which is fine. I'm just the most interested about them, so this is okay. Next, we have advances for countries of Ruthenian culture. We have the legacy of the Rus, the mother of Russian states. reuniting the Rus, Ruthenian state. Okay, let's start with the legacy of the Rus. Cultural tradition increased by 10%. Age of traditions, of course. So the lands of the Rus shattered into several states, but the memory of once great state ruled from Kiev remains strong in our mind. If we similarly style ourselves in the fashion of the rulers of old and highlight our connection to them, we'll carve a strong tradition for our people. Cool. I mean, this is I call it flavor. This is really nice. That builds some background of the country you play. Um, it just makes the playthrough much more interesting for me. It's not just the country with some color on the map. It's something more, at least for me. But I might be different from many people playing that game. The Mother of Russian State. That's another advance. Urban building cost decreased, prosperity recovery plus 0.50%. Kiev was once the shining capital of a great state spanning from the northern forest of Novgorod to the southern shores of the Black Sea. After suffering in the dissolution of the Rus and the invasions of the Mongols, little remained of it. No matter what our cities will endure, we will ensure that they recover and prosper for centuries to come. Fair enough. Reuniting the Rus, that's another advanced age of discovery. Monthly legitimacy and separatism, fair enough, doesn't matter. We are the true heir of the Kievan Rus, and the lands must be reunited under our banner. I'm wondering whether that enables some. I mean, of course, it enables another technologies down the line. So that's cool. The next one is a Ruthenian state, another advance. Stability investment costs decreased. In the past, we bowed to foreign influences and had to adapt to the customs of others to ensure friendly relations. But with the changing times, we'll have to affirm our own customs to not risk falling into the sphere of the interest of others again. Okay, so that's it about the advances. A few of them provided by Paradox. Next is the form countries view, in which you might spot a new feature. Form new country. Oh, that's cool. So we have county and the duchy, reform into republic, reform into a theocracy. Then we have kingdom and empire, and there are also some options. We can form Ruthenia. This is the coat of arms for or crest for Ukraine as well. I mean, as well. That's what Ukrainians have in their coat of arms crest, whatever. I'm gonna use both names. So that's nice. That's really nice. Ruthenia is of tier 3, so we have different tiers of formidable nations. Tier 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is the last one? Or 5 is the last one? I'm not sure. Formidable Ruthenia. What we have here? Ruthenia is a tier 3 formidable country. Centuries ago, the land of the Rus was united under a single banner and ruled from the legendary city Kiev. But then came the Mongol hordes advancing from the Great Steppe, pillaging and burning. They destroyed our Kremlins and the towns fell one by one. Even Kiev itself could not avoid this fate. In terror, our people fled the plains of Rus and went north, into the forests and hinterlands of the land we today call Russia. Now a new and arrogant city of the north is on the rise. It draws in the petty states around it, and its ruler envisions a new Rus, a Rus centered in Moscow and not in Kiev. However, we Ruthenians will not go silent into the pages of history, will not allow newcomers and pretenders to claim the legacy of our forefathers. Kiev shall rise once again, and we shall restore it to its former glory and splendor. So too shall the Rus. Okay, we need to own at least 113 more locations from the following. Then we have areas we need. Yeah, that's pretty impressive. How many lands we need to have? Huge. Okay, so we know that there is a Ruthenia. I'm very curious about their technologies, what they have, available units, and so on. Next, we have, of course, Poland and Lithuania, and most importantly, both PLC and LPC formables. So this is Form Poland Lithuania. I love that flag. That's beautiful. Formable country. Poland Lithuania is tier 3. Possible advances: Granary of Europe and Winged Hussars, late Winged Hussars. Oh shit, man. Okay, so again, I wish you good luck. Just listen. Komisja Edukacji Narodowej, Szkoła Rycerska, and great same reforms. Komisja Edukacji Narodowej, Szkoła Rycerska. Fair enough. So this is I don't know, the National Education Committee. Szkoła Rycerska means basically the night school. And great same reforms. Same is just the parliament. By uniting the crowns of Lithuania and Poland under the same banner, will become the lighthouse of Eastern Europe, bringing our light to the swamps and forests that flourish across the land. Yeah, there's actually a lot of swamps and forests in Poland still, especially where I live. Warmia and Mazur, this is called. So yeah, we have a lot of forests, swamps, lakes, and so on. It is not possible to choose Poland and Lithuania due to we must either destroy Lithuania or make them our subject. Oh, okay. Simple as that. Destroy them. We own Krakow, we own Vilnius, we own Warszawa, Warsaw in English. We need to own at least 107 more locations from the following. Okay, what's that? What's the difference here? From Lithuania, Poland. From Poland, Lithuania. Oh. Oh, there's a difference. Fair enough, look at that flag. There's an eagle in top left and bottom right. And here we have that Lithuanian horse with rider in top left and bottom right. Okay, and what we have here, we basically have same advances. We have Granary of Europe, winged hussars, blah blah blah. Yeah, that's the same. And the description is also the same. We must either destroy Poland or make them our subject. We own Krakow, Vilnius, Warszawa, and some following locations. Fair enough. I like that the name is different if we play as Lithuania. Regarding the narrative content today, I'm going to have to cut most of it because we've already hit 48 pictures out of the limit of 50 and just with the structural content. Oh, okay, fair enough. However, we have hundreds of combined events for Poland, Lithuania, and Ruthenian countries and the Commonwealth, no matter who forms it. You can check specific numbers in the top right UI of the country overview at the start of the post. On top of those numbers, we have 29 DHEs, more for the Commonwealth. I have no idea what it means. DHEs. No clue. So I'm just going to tease today what's probably the most important content asset for Poland that players may use to decide the fate of the country. Shall a compromise with the Szlachta be achieved? Shall the second row plutocrats, portrayed as the Burghers, be backed, or will the crown be triumphant, defying the historical outcome? That's the question. Well, let's click on it. We have rise of Szlachta, which is rise of the nobility. And what is it? Possible outcomes, 9%. An event relevant to this disaster may occur. Okay, so this is the disaster. Fair enough. That makes actually sense. And no event occurs, 91%. Push for aristocracy, push for plutocracy. Oh, those are choices you have to really think about. Just follow your heart, I believe. The machinations of internal politics are often interwoven with an everlasting quest for power. The Szlachta nobility have always styled themselves to be the prime protectors of our realm, always keen on keeping Poland and her interests at the forefront. However, it appears that absolute power corrupts absolutely, and they too have fallen victim to their naive ambitions. Not only have they rejected our primacy, but have outright questioned the very legitimacy of our foundations. How dare they? Yeah, well, Szlachta. Normally, I would probably support them, but since I know how Poles behave, I guess it's better for Poland to have a really solid crown control, be really powerful king or emperor, whatever, than giving too many privileges to nobility or in general to Polish people. I would try to keep them tight, really, and use them like lemon because they are Poles are very productive, and they are great specialists too, and they know how to, for example, fight. So in that regard, they are great. But if they have too much freedom, that becomes the problem for the whole country. So yeah, high crown of 40, keep them tight, keep them close. That's the idea for ruling Poland, at least from my perspective. Nonetheless, feel free to ask here about specific content, and I will be posting screenshots in Posts app until Tuesday, as we put a lot of effort into the content of these countries, and they truly deserve it, absolutely. And much more, but that's all for today. Next week there will be 4 posts, blah blah blah. I'm not gonna read it. Oh my god, Tinto Flavour about Kilva in Zimbabwe? Is anybody going to play as Zimbabwe? I don't even know what's Kilva. I know Zimbabwe, but Kilva, no, not really. I guess it's also Africa. Tinto Flavor about Switzerland and the Hansa. Oh, that might be a bit more interesting. Okay, so that would be it. I hope you like it. We have actually 25 minutes, which is very good. So also again, I would like to ask to, I would like to, I would like to ask you. That's the proper form. I would like to ask you to provide me any feedback if you have any, of course. If you dislike that video, please tell me why. If you like it, also I would appreciate if you say why. I mean, comments are more than welcome. So would be very nice. But please tell me if you don't like something. That's gonna, I hope so, positively affect that channel and the content I do. So okay, that's it. That will be all for today and for that Tinto Flavor. I will see which one we'll select next, but for today, again, that's it. So thank you very much and see you next time. Goodbye.